So this is going to be a video about my experiences doing acid or shrooms. Um, I first started by doing shrooms. My my first shroom trip was with a friend in my brother's garage. Um, Nothing really happened. It was just a big laugh fest. We were laughing, and then just for 8 hours we were laughing. We were so tired of laughing by the end of it, but we couldn't help it. But so I went and did shrooms again after that. Probably not very recent, or not right after, but down the road I did it again, and it was a lot more euphoric, and I didn't really learn anything from it. I don't know where I heard that you're supposed to learn from every trip, but I try to learn something from my trips because I don't know, you just kind of do. Um, so I went and So I did the shrooms a couple times or whatever, and then I got into some acid. Um, and I was kind of in a bad place in life. I was doing spice, and I was smoking weed, but that's not really a bad thing. And I was drinking all the time, and I just really wasn't in a great place. But so I was doing some acid, and I would do it. I think I did it probably 4 times a week at one point. Um, I've done like 5 hits at one time. Um, but so it seemed like every time I was doing the acid at that point in my life, I there was one time I had a really bad trip in that little period of time, and it was just like it made me realize that I was going down a bad path, and I was turning into a piece of shit, and the people around me weren't really who I wanted to be surrounded by. Um, but that was my bad trip, and I did learn something from that. I I cleaned up my life a lot after that, but um, seemed like every time I was doing acid at that point, I was not seeing Jesus or whatever, but feeling Jesus, or um, I don't know. It was just like colors were making me feel Jesus like, maybe. Um, so that's basically my experience at that point in my life. Um, then I moved to Georgia, and I stayed out of trouble for a while, and when I'd come back up to Indiana, I I'd try to party. All my friends were here, my family. I knew where everything was at. I could get my hands on whatever. Um, and one of those times I came up, I got some acid, and it was a weird night. Started out doing like we were watching Family Guy, which I don't recommend. I mean, yeah, it's funny and everything when you're tripping and whatever, but you gotta place the things in your mind instead of letting something else direct you or whatever. Um, so I don't know how long I was watching that, but I had family around and everything, and it was a great time. And then all of a sudden, the other person that was tripping, was like, "Alright, I'm leaving." And I was just like, "Oh, okay, whatever, that's fucking random, but okay." And then the other person that was there, he was like, he wasn't tripping, but he had like school or something the next day, I think. And he was like, "I'm going to bed. And I'm turning off the TV and lights are going off and everything." And I was like, "What the fuck?" I'm tripping balls, sitting in the dark, and, like, it was fucking weird. I was seeing, like, piles of, like, dead people or something in the corners of the room, like, reaching out, trying to grab me, and, what I felt those people were trying to do were pull me towards my fear, because I was upstairs in my safe zone away from getting caught doing what I was doing. But these people that were pulling me out of the corners or whatever, they were like pulling me to the stairs, to go down the stairs, like, go towards my fear. And eventually I made it down the stairs, and I didn't get caught when I got down there because my stepdad was outside and my mom wasn't there, and it was pretty late at night. My stepdad was out working in the barn, but so I snuck into the living room as quietly as possible and just kind of, relaxed, kind of off by myself. And then all of a sudden I started like seeing these little I don't even know how to describe it. They were like little like things like this that were like walking across the ground or whatever, and they had like little suction cups as their paws or whatever. And they seemed really alien-like. So they climbed up on me, and all of a sudden, I got this message in my head that I was the one. Who the fuck knows what that means? The one. The one for what? Who knows? But that's what I learned from that trip. And ever since that point, it pushed me more in the right direction to try to figure out, what am I the one for? Am I supposed to save the universe, or am I supposed to be somewhere at the right time, or what, What does being the one mean? And it's had me flustered ever since. And I've done acid since that. It wasn't really, I didn't really learn a whole lot that I can say that I've learned from it, from my last trip. But I spent a lot of time out in nature my last trip, sitting in the woods, playing in the creek. I learned that you don't want to sit on like a chair and take your feet off the ground and like close your eyes, because when you lose the connection to the ground, it's weird. I was like, fuck this, going back inside. But, it was the middle of the night, and I was in the woods, like, I was basically in the woods, but so I mean I basically just spent all my time outside absorbing nature, um, learning about my surroundings and nature, and just really trying to get connected, like kind of like a tree hugger or something, like uh, okay, hold on, that was weird. Um, yeah, it really connected me with nature. Um, oh, it made me want to like really learn about like regreening the deserts, or like it made me appreciate the planet I live on. Um, so maybe I am the one to help uh, save the planet from deforestation or turning into a giant desert or whatever. Um, but who knows? I still have more trips ahead of me to figure this stuff out. I just got to keep moving along and doing what I think is right. Um, if anybody else has any experiences similar, or has anything to chime in and help me understand something or whatever, I'd love to hear it. That's it.